Sugar has become a poison.
That's 10. So equivalent to about 12 sugar cubes there.
What is my limit my body can contain? Why do people with diabetes have a 2 times likely chance of developing dementia?
They could be like a new type of diabetes, type 3 diabetes, they're calling it.
Type 3? That's really bad.
You have things like cassava and plantain and yam.
Is there any food you completely avoid?
We have a higher risk of diabetes and insulin resistance at a lower BMI compared to white populations.
60% of people who are living with diabetes at the moment don't even know that they have diabetes. Why is it if I'm upset, my brain's saying I should eat almost 50 grams of carbs in that?
I'd recommend between like 30 to 50 grams of carbs per meal. That'll be like 1 pack of Indomie maybe.
Welcome to EZE Speaks, where health finds its voice. I'm your host, Francesca Ezenolim, and each episode I'm bringing in health experts to answer your burning questions. Expect an episode every other Sunday. Make sure you leave a comment, make sure you subscribe and give us a follow as well. I'm your host, Francesca, and today we have on Aaliyah.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Aaliyah is known as Nutritiously Alli on TikTok. She's renowned for making insightful videos breaking down the Diabetes Eat Well guide and revealing hidden sugar levels in everyday Black African Caribbean foods, making healthy eating accessible and culturally relevant. So with her expertise as a registered dietitian, she's here to answer all of our questions. Tell us a bit more about yourself, like what you do, what you do on your day-to-day at work and stuff.
Sure. So I've been a dietitian for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Specialising in diabetes for about 4 of those years.
Yeah.
And so I work seeing people with diabetes, type 1, type 2. I've done a bit of gestational diabetes before as well.
Nice.
That's like diabetes in pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it for about 4 years since I've been graduated. I decided to start posting videos on social media, talking a bit about what I do and just giving some nutrition tips online to people that may find it helpful. It's a nice little hobby of mine.
Oh, I love that. And I think it's really important to like make TikTok videos and things, just make health easy for people to understand. Yeah. So what made you want to kind of focus mainly on diabetes, as a dietitian?
So I'm from a Caribbean background and all 4 of my grandparents have type 2 diabetes. So that was always something that I was aware of growing up.
Okay.
Seemed like it was quite normal in our kind of communities. I grew up Muslim and we used to read this book called How to Eat to Live.
Oh, show us.
And it talks about like type 2 diabetes and intermittent fasting and things and how it can be like reversed. But it was written in like 1967, so we call it remission now.
Fine.
So that kind of sparked my interest. And then I used to see this show on TV called You Are What You Eat by Gillian McKeith.
Yeah.
I think she was in I'm a Celebrity a few years ago.
Yeah.
And that made me realise that I could actually talk about nutrition and food as a career. So then I did some research into it and I stumbled across, being a dietitian.
You focus on the Caribbean Eat Well guide, and that's something I really like because I know there's a normal Eat Well guide for general, but it's kind of Europeanized. So it's quite good to have a Caribbean version. Can you kind of talk us through that?
Yeah, definitely. So the Caribbean Eat Well guide was created by the Diverse Nutrition Association, I believe.
Okay.
And they basically based it off of the Western Eat Well guide.
Yeah.
But they just added more of the African and Caribbean cultural foods into it. So it's got like soursop and it's got things like ackee and it's got cassava and things in the starchy yellow carbohydrate section. So you got like you have things like cassava and plantain and yam and things like that. You've got some of the kind of other fishes that we may eat, like mackerel and tilapia in the protein section in the pink one.
Yeah.
And then, some of the traditional vegetables, cultural vegetables that we tend to eat as well. So it makes it more inclusive.
Definitely.
And when I speak to patients about it, they can kind of see where their foods can fit within a healthy eating guideline.
I see.
Instead of the stigma of being told that their foods aren't healthy because it doesn't fit the kind of Western standard,
That's really good. So is it that we have to eat like in that portion size control almost?
For the general public, yes. They say, kind of base your meal around whole, like high fiber, starchy carbohydrates, lots of vegetables and fruits and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it's got the protein in the dairy as well. And it kind of has like the snacks that we tend to consume on the outside as they're not necessarily needed for a healthy diet. So things like a puff puff or malt. Or...
I have a lot of experience with puff puff.
Those types of things, they're not necessarily needed in the circle for a healthy balance.
So what would you say is like a normal amount of puff puff to eat? Like what's healthy? Because obviously I kind of went viral on TikTok talking about, because I had about 15, and I think obviously in a course of like a few hours sat down chatting, I could consume 15, without even realizing. But what's like a controlled amount of puff puff?
I mean, because it has like, it's got carbs in there and it's fried, so maybe 2 or 4. Like,
no, that's insane. Yeah. But it's good, and I think that I like that the Eat Well guide actually has food like puff puff on there to show us what we shouldn't be eating too much of and what we should add more of. Like, exactly. That's already culturally relevant.
Yeah.
But a lot of people talk about this high glycemic index when it comes to food. What does that actually mean?
So glycemic index basically talks about how quickly a food containing carbohydrates is broken down.
Okay.
And then how quickly it would affect our blood sugar levels.
Right.
So the quicker it's broken down, the faster it will affect our blood sugar levels, really. Okay. So things like white bread or sweets and sugary drinks and things like that will be very quickly digested, and it will just make our blood sugars and shoot up. Yeah, it'll make them spike.
Fine.
Whereas the kind of higher fiber, lower glycemic index foods, like could be things like plantain. Yeah. Could be things like you have like hard-dough bread, but you can get like a wholemeal version of that.
Oh, okay.
Those types of things like yam could be slow releasing. Oh, okay. Thinking about rices, you've got like basmati rice and things that can be quite slow releasing. Oh. So the higher fiber something contains, the kind of harder it is for our body to break it down.
Yes.
And the longer it takes for it to raise our blood sugar.
Fine. Yeah. And that's obviously the issue with diabetes. Yeah. A lot of the time it's saying things like, fizzy drinks, we shouldn't have fizzy drinks because there's so much sugar. So I opt in for no sugar stuff.
Yeah.
But then when I opt in for no sugar, someone's next to me going, oh, you shouldn't have no sugar because it's got chemicals. But is it not better to have the chemicals and raise your blood sugar high? What would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, with the sugar-free drinks, they definitely have a purpose. So for people that have, type 2 diabetes or whatever in particular, swapping from sugary drinks to these diet sugar-free drinks has been found to really help to lower their blood sugar levels and help improve their management. So that's definitely a good swap to make. There's been a lot of, controversy about sweeteners.
Yeah.
Current research shows that they're safe to consume in moderation. I think it was like if you're not consuming more than 6 or 8 cans of like Diet Coke, then you're unlikely to get any negative health effects.
Like in a week?
Or I believe it was like in a day.
I'm not.
It's personal preference. You don't have to, of course, consume these things if you don't want to. No one's forcing people to. But if you drink a lot of sugary drinks, swapping to sugar-free ones is a better alternative.
I did some research and I found that someone is diagnosed with diabetes every 2 minutes in the UK. I don't know how long we've been sat here. So that's at least 10 patients have been diagnosed with diabetes. So it's showing that, the rates are rising in the UK. If my blood sugar is high, how would I know?
So some people get symptoms of feeling thirsty. They may feel tired, kind of like urinating a bit more.
Okay.
When their blood sugars have been high for quite a while, they can experience some weight loss, like unintentional weight loss.
Oh, how would you lose weight if you have high blood sugar?
How it works is our body, we have an organ called pancreas, and that naturally produces insulin.
Yeah.
And that insulin acts as like a lock, like a key. So the insulin acts as a key.
Yeah.
And then the cells that make up our body, if you think of it as a lock. So the insulin kind of unlocks the cells and lets the sugar go from the blood into the cells. With type 2 diabetes, there's something called insulin resistance. So the kind of cells, the lock on the cells gets a bit rusty. So the insulin can't unlock the cell properly to let the sugar in. So then the body's like, okay, I need to get energy to do what we need to do. So it starts to break down our fat and our muscles instead to get the energy from there. Yeah. And that's how that unintentional weight loss can happen.
Because your body's hungry.
Yeah.
But your blood sugar is high. Because it can't get into the cells. So then you're going to be tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets tired,
fine.
And then the body doesn't like to have high blood sugar levels, so it'll make you drink more to kind of flush the sugar out of the blood.
Yeah.
That's why people start to go to the toilet more often, and that's kind of how those symptoms develop.
Because, there's some people always think that someone with diabetes looks fat or looks overweight or is obese, but sometimes I have patients walking in and, they have diabetes and it's a slim man.
Yeah.
So it goes to show that it's not always how you look.
No, no. And that's quite a bad stigma that is out at the moment, that just because someone is overweight or obese that they have diabetes or they got it because of being that. Where, you know, it's not as simple as that.
Yeah. I think for me, what scares me about diabetes is that 60% of people who, you know, are living with diabetes at the moment don't even know that they have diabetes. I think that's actually quite a big problem. So it means that symptoms are quite subtle and people don't pay attention to them a lot. But also what concerns me is more so in the Black community, we're actually 3 to 5 times more likely to have diabetes than our white counterparts. Why is that? Like, do you know? I don't get it.
There could be different reasons for that. They haven't exactly confirmed. I know there's a study being done in Liverpool at the moment where they're looking into why people from Black and South Asian backgrounds are more likely to get diabetes than people from a white background. So at the moment, they're thinking it could be related to the way we store fat and insulin resistance. If we store it more around our midsection, around those major organs, that's what can kind of increase that insulin resistance. They're looking into things such as us, maybe people from Black backgrounds being more, there being like health inequalities, or being from like lower socioeconomic backgrounds where there's, you know, the food choice necessarily isn't the healthiest, which can play a role as well. Looking into lots of different factors that play a part of it. You know, things like stress as well can raise blood sugars, and if we experience quite a lot of stress on a day-to-day basis, that's not going to help with the inflammation kind of side of things. So there's not a lot of one thing. Answer. There's different things that are going on. But it's a very scary statistic.
Very, very scary. And I think it's very important for us to be aware of that.
Definitely.
And go in for regular health checks. So as of 2022, dementia is the biggest killer in the UK. Why do people with diabetes have a 2 times likely chance of developing dementia?
They say that there can be some insulin resistance that's caused actually in the brain. So the brain uses a lot of glucose to give it the energy to do everything it needs to do. It's a powerful organ. And when we have kind of, you know, too much fatty buildup, it can also occur in the brain. So there can be some insulin resistance there. The brain's very sensitive to it. So that can tend to damage like the little blood vessels in the brain, which can reduce like the oxygen and things to the brain. So there are different reasons why that can occur. But they're saying that it could be like a new type of diabetes, type 3 diabetes, they're calling it.
Type 3?
Yeah.
We haven't even recovered from type 2.
I don't multiple different types of diabetes. Yeah, they're kind of classing it, some people, as type 3 diabetes.
And is that to do with dementia, like, or is that just a separate?
To do with dementia.
Fine.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, but there can be reasons for why that dementia can occur. Not just the insulin resistance. It could be some other things going on. Like if people regularly have high blood glucose levels, that can again cause vessel damage in the brain. Or people that regularly have low blood glucose levels can again cause some damage to the brain. So a few different things can lead to that kind of dementia.
A lot of the patients that come in, you know, to a clinic, a lot of them tend to be a BMI of 30. You know, I'm a BMI of 30. And, you know, the BMI 30 basically equals obese. And I think, do you feel like we've normalised people being a BMI of 30 to say this is actually kind of normal? Because I think almost like when I see a BMI of 30, I don't think, oh, you're not that bad. But there is still a risk that they are a BMI of 30. You know, what do you think about that?
I agree. I think because we see such high BMI, sometimes, particularly when we work in healthcare, BMI of like 30 is like, oh, you know, it's not that bad. It could be higher, but it still carries a risk. And BMI it's not the perfect indicator of health, but it does give a kind of at a glance. In diabetes, in particular, in type 2 diabetes, we tend to focus more on that waist circumference. Because kind of the bigger the waist circumference, the more fat, like visceral fat, and the kind of ectopic fat that's in the organs can be occurring. So BMI is a good measurement, but also insulin resistance is something we're talking a lot more about at the moment.
Waist circumference. And obviously, being Black African, we store a lot of fat around the waist and also lower down as well. So that's also something we need to know that's probably bit more of a risk.
Exactly.
Why do we decrease the BMI cutoff for people who are Black and African?
Because they found that we have a higher risk of diabetes and insulin resistance at a lower BMI compared to white populations.
Fine. So my high BMI is not the same as a white person's high BMI?
Not necessarily, no.
a lot of patients come in and say, like, you know, they struggle to lose weight because they're always hungry. And I struggle to advise them because I'm always hungry. Like, I feel like a lot of the time in my life, I'm actually like hungry. Like, if I eat, I still want more food sometimes. Why is it that some people aren't hungry and then you get others like me who were like, they just want food?
Yeah.
What is do you know anything about that?
I mean, that probably comes along with the kind of like gut hormones and things that we're talking about now with like the GLP-1 medications like Manjaro and things. But so it could be a reason why people don't get those hunger simps, the hunger, that fullness cue, because we're quite busy as a population nowadays. So we tend to eat very quickly. And it takes the brain, like this, to get the signal from the stomach to the brain to tell the brain that we're full. It takes like 20 minutes.
Oh,
so
okay.
We tend to be eating our food very quickly and maybe distracted, scrolling on TikTok or watching TV or just, you know, at your desk trying to get notes done while you're having your lunch, like multitasking.
Yeah.
So we're actually not paying attention to those hunger cues that we're getting. So we're kind of missing those hunger cues and tend to kind of eat quickly. 5 minutes later, we're finished and we're like, oh, I could eat something else.
Yeah, there's always space for something
there's
sweet.
Always space. Like, we don't actually leave that time. So it sounds silly, but doing things like chewing slower, like putting the cutlery down or sandwich, whatever, down in between the bites, taking time, kind of getting in tune with the food, how it tastes. It sounds so silly when you say it, but it actually kind of gets you more in tune with your body and your hunger signals.
And I think people are saying that it makes you process how much you're eating. Yeah. And some girl actually was on TikTok saying that when the food is here, why are you leaning? Why are you inhaling the food? Like, you need to move back a bit.
Exactly.
Maybe there probably is some. I think mindful eating is the thing that people are saying as well. And a lot of the time they're saying that the brain and the gut are linked.
They are,
So when people are upset, it's almost like the brain is like, let's just like eat to distract ourselves.
Yeah, it can
Have you heard that a
like
lot?
a source of comfort and things, people emotional eating or just stress eating or things, just to kind of get those pleasure signals.
As a dietitian, is there any food you completely avoid? Like, is there something you're like, no, I'm not going to eat that?
I mean, I'm Muslim, so I'll say pork.
Pork,
I'll probably avoid.
Fair enough,
But probably things I just don't like.
Okay, fine.
I don't like celery.
Okay.
So I'm not going to eat celery if I don't like it.
Yeah.
But nothing I'd say I completely avoid.
Okay, fine.
It's more about moderation. I like to be realistic with things. You know, I'm not going to say I avoid, as a dietitian, I avoid chocolates and sweets and crisps, because I don't. I'll be a lie.
Yeah.
I eat it sometimes. It's just about moderation. So,
fine. Yeah. But I think moderation is hard. And I think for me, it's like, I would almost not want to give myself the thing because I know I'm going to do it in excess.
Yeah, I hear you. It can be challenging. It can be.
And I think also, one thing I think is a problem in the Black community is that we do a lot of things in excess. So if we're going to eat, we're going to eat a lot. The plate is going to be full. Everything we do needs to be dramatic. And I think we're kind of taught, to me anyway, I feel like I was kind of taught to kind of do that in excess. Like when you fill your plate with rice, you finish that plate of rice. Do you know what I mean? Even like things like, so I even wanted to get into like Supermalt and Indomie packets and stuff, because if I'm eating, you know, this pack of Indomie, I'm not going to be full. I need like maybe 2.5, 3 if I'm dragging it, but 2, I can get away with 2. So I feel like even my brother, for example, would eat 4.
Right.
So to me, that's in excess. I feel like we're just kind of, that's our problem. We don't do things in moderation. Yeah.
Or we kind of just look just for like the carbs to kind of fill us up, whereas there's other food groups as well besides the rice and the pasta and things.
Yeah, so I think we're used to the rice and the pasta that makes us full. Can you tell us about this Indomie? Because, you know, in this pack, a lot of people are saying that it's actually got too much sugar, it's fake food, it's not real, you shouldn't eat it. What's your take on Indomie? Do you think it's nutritious enough? Do you think the carbohydrate, because in this it's like, you know, almost 50 grams of carbs in that.
I'd say go for actual noodles as opposed to like the packaged ones.
Okay, fine.
But it's about the portion size when thinking about just carbs and blood sugar, I guess. So for my patients, I find in practice, try to recommend between like 30 to 50 grams of carbs per meal.
Okay.
Is what I would tend to say. So if that'll be like 1 pack of Indomie maybe.
I just feel like 1 pack of Indomie is unrealistic.
But then also not just having that as the only thing with your meal. So then adding like some chicken or some fish or something to it, because protein helps you feel fuller for longer. Adding like some extra veg and things to it, because that will add some extra fibre and help you feel fuller for longer. So if you're kind of missing the protein and the fibre, people are going to eat more of the Indomie to kind of feel full.
Because when I'm eating Indomie, I'm eating it with maybe an egg, 2 eggs, and with like 2 packs of Indomie. So that's already, I'm almost 100 grams of carb in that food. But I think, right, when I don't know how it is in Caribbean culture, but for us, like, if you're eating rice and stew, your mom's made rice and stew, you put the rice in the plate. You're only allowed 1 meat. Do you get what I mean? Like, if you have more than 2 meat, it's like you're greedy. So meat is expensive. So people don't want to. You're not gonna have your parents not gonna let you have 3-4 meats and tell you to eat less rice. So I think because meat is rationed, we're always eating a lot of the white rice because it's cheaper. So it's a bit of a hard one. I think we're trained to think to eat like that.
That's a good point. And then told to finish the whole thing on the plate as well. It's and I see it from so many patients as well in clinic. They'll say, I wasn't brought up to waste food. Like, I can't throw food away or leave it till the next day. I have to finish what's on my plate. And although our parents kind of meant well, we're kind of paying for it now. We're struggling to control portions.
Exactly.
Stuffing in that last spoonful so there's no more rice on the plate.
No, it's really bad. But I think it's kind of just how you grow up. And I think it's just training yourself out of that. Because I think it's very hard if you're grown up eating a large plate of white rice, it will be hard if someone tells you to eat a cup of white rice. Have you even seen 100 grams of white rice is like a snack?
It's not.
It's not even real. Yeah, it's
not much at all. It's not much. Whenever I tell patients, like if they're having large amounts of rice and things at the moment, I don't always tell them to go for what I'd necessarily recommend straight away.
Fine.
It's more like you have to wean them.
And
get them
slowly,
to gradually.
Slowly
Otherwise
transition.
they won't come back and see me again.
So you would prefer like brown rice over like white rice, I assume, because of the...
I mean, brown rice can be higher in fibre, but if people don't like brown rice, I wouldn't force them to eat brown rice. So if you're going to have white rice or basmati rice or whatever, then just make sure you've got some fibre on the plate, some extra fibre through like veg and salad and things to kind of still get that slower digestion of the carbs in the rice.
Okay.
So you don't have to just have brown rice. Or you can try other grains like bulgur wheat.
I love bulgur wheat.
I like bulgur wheat.
So good. Yeah. I've made it into like a jollof rice.
Yeah.
It's actually,
we do that.
It's good.
It's nice.
You made a video talking about how much sugar's in this Supermalt.
Yeah.
When my brother has Supermalt, he has maybe 4. If I have Supermalt in a party, I'll have about 2.
Right.
Cheeky. But I think that's in moderation. But when I saw your thing, that you talking about sugar cubes, I was astonished. So tell me, how is this, like, if I'm drinking this whole Supermalt, what does that look like in my bloodstream?
The amount of like carbs in the Supermalt will be equivalent to about 10 or 12 sugar cubes. This is 1 sugar cube, so it can add it up.
Oh my gosh.
That's 10. So equivalent to about 12 sugar cubes there. That's 1 bottle of Supermalt.
And I have 2.
Yeah.
My brother has 4. Oh, that's really bad.
Which is why I thought it's quite good to post that on socials, because I know it's a popular drink. So just increasing the awareness. Not saying never drink it.
Because I do love a cheeky Supermalt, but I think if we're having 4, that's actually ridiculous.
It's quite a bit.
So say if I have 2 Supermalts, that's 24 sugar cubes. What is my limit my body can contain?
If I think about it in equivalent to what I tell my patients, probably be like 10 to 15 sugar cubes will be like a limit, but that'll be like for a meal, not for a drink.
Oh my
So
gosh.
a meal could be equivalent to about 10 or 15 sugar cubes.
So that's why they say don't drink your sugar. Don't drink your...
People call it like empty calories. Because you're not really getting other nutrition from it. It just kind of tastes nice.
I also read this 8-week blood sugar diet book. So it focuses on reversing diabetes through an 800 calorie diet. And a lot of people, found that it was effective and it reversed diabetes. In that book. So there's lots of testimonies seen in the book. I thought it was quite useful. And one of the doctors in the book, Dr. Unwin, he was convinced that part of the problem of diabetes, type 2 diabetes, was that their body can no longer handle sugar, and sugar has become a poison. And do you really think sugar is the poison for diabetics?
I would never tell my patients to completely cut out sugar or carbs, because we still need it. It's the main source of energy that we have for our body. So I say still have carbs, but just not as much. So people just unfortunately aren't able to tolerate as much carbohydrates as they used to be able to consume when they have type 2 diabetes, because of that rusty cell. And then the longer people have diabetes, the less insulin they naturally produce as well. So there's less insulin circulating around to get the sugar into the cells. So it's an interesting way to say it, very attention-grabbing.
Yeah, very attention-grabbing.
I haven't read the book, but I know there is a program on the NHS called the Path to Remission, where they put patients on an 800 or 900 calorie diet a day for about 12 weeks.
Okay.
So like soups or shakes, it's like meal replacement things that are nutritionally complete. And then it makes them hopefully lose about 15 kilograms of weight, because they found that through research trials. I think they proved in 2011 that type 2 diabetes can be put into remission. So we don't say reversal, what we say remission, because if people fall back into, kind of old habits, eating more carbs, not moving around as much, then the blood sugar can gradually start to increase and they can go back into that like active type 2 diabetes state.
Okay.
So it's something the NHS does provide.
Yeah.
I would always recommend, if people are going to consider doing this, then to, let your GP know, get advice from a healthcare professional that has experience in these, just to make sure that you're safe from that point of view, and also nutritionally as well. If you're not doing it through nutritionally complete methods, then you could be at risk of some deficiencies in the future. So it's worth keeping in mind. But it can help to put people into remission, those diets.
So do you recommend the diabetes remission program for your patients as well to go on it?
So we do a course for people that are newly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and they found within the first 6 years or so, people are more likely to enter into remission. So I do recommend it for them. Definitely. I haven't done it in practice, because I see people more on the other end of the diabetes journey, but I do recommend it. Yeah, definitely.
And do you actually believe we can reverse diabetes?
It can be put into remission. So I have had patients that have entered into remission, not necessarily from the program, but have entered into remission by making changes to their diet and lifestyle, depending on, what was going on with them. If they were quite, overweight or obese and they lost quite a bit of weight healthily, and they were able to enter into remission where they were out without any diabetes medication for at least 3 months, and the HbA1c has to be lower than 48. That's classed as remission. So people can enter into remission, and the longer that they're able to stay in remission, the lower their risk of possibly developing diabetes-related complications in the future. And because people are getting diagnosed with diabetes at a younger age, being able to enter into remission and kind of delay that progression would be a good thing. So it's possible. It is possible. Definitely.
Yeah. And if someone's got their blood sugars less than 48, so 48 is basically
millimole.
So that's, if you're above 48, you would be classed as diabetes. Having diabetes. So if they get below 48, can they come off their medication, like things like metformin and insulin? Can they just stop?
So they're only classed as being in remission if they're below 48 without any diabetes medication for at least 3 months. So if they're below 48 and they're on medication, it's likely the medication that's helped them to get below 48.
Fine.
And if they stop it, it's going to come back up.
Yeah. A lot of the time we have a lot of silent habits and things that are raising our blood sugar without realising. What would you say is kind of the main silent habits that we should avoid to raise our blood sugar? Just, not raise our blood sugar.
A mix of them. So I think we can be quite sedentary as a population. So we're not really moving around as much. And when we move around more, our muscles use up the sugar in the blood, so it can help to lower our blood sugar levels.
Okay.
So I find that when I have patients that are maybe retired and they were working an active job and they're kind of just sitting down, chilling, enjoying their retirement, their blood sugars do go quite high.
Yeah.
So moving around is quite important, doing that regularly.
Yeah.
I'd also say, what we're eating as well, kind of, I think snacks like, the sweets and the biscuits and things have become quite normalised, or even, very, very promoted in the media, particularly. I think M&S is having a great time at the moment with all their snacks. The snacks taste amazing.
Love it.
But when you have people eating like a whole bag of cookies in one go, then
you see them white chocolate cookies in M&S.
I haven't tried them
No,
yet.
don't try it. It's not safe. I have about...
I'm scared.
I will finish it. I literally finish it. It's so bad. But the snacks are good.
Their snacks are amazing. The dips, oh my God. The snacks are amazing. But again,
not too much.
Yeah, it's about having that kind of, self-control to then have one biscuit, one cookie, and then,
Yeah, because I know some people, when they eat their meal, they also go out.
Yeah.
So they go out and take a 20-minute walk, and it helps to lower your blood sugar.
Yeah.
But that's long. Like, if I'm trying to eat and I'm trying to sleep after, I'm not really trying to walk.
I hear you. But sometimes that also could be, due to having lots of carbs on the plate. We just get tired.
Yeah.
Because blood sugars are so high, we're like, well, I need to nap.
After I eat pasta, I'm knocked out. I'm literally like, I don't want to get up. Yeah.
Literally.
Is that because of how high your blood sugar's going? Is that what makes you tired when you eat that?
It could play a part. Yeah, it could play a part. So I've got people that sometimes after they've eaten, they'll sit down and do like calf raises in the chair, like 10 minutes. They find that helps lower their blood sugars. Or some will get up and do a bit of housework, or go up and down the stairs, or do a little 10-minute walk. And it does have a good effect, particularly when I had patients that have like diabetes in pregnancy. That's something I really encouraged as well.
For them. And like even with diabetes in pregnancy, does that mean they're going to have diabetes after pregnancy? Or?
So they're more likely, so if they have gestational diabetes, they are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes later on in life, and their child is also more likely to develop it as well. Yeah, so they have very strict like blood sugar targets to meet.
I just don't understand how, if my parent had diabetes, how that would influence me, because if that's just her lifestyle, why would I be more at risk because she's had it?
Again, they're trying to study and look into exactly what the causes are. But they are more likely to. And also because when they have gestational diabetes, they tend to sometimes produce a bigger baby as well. And then that baby can end up, just being a bit more, of a higher weight compared to the others in their peer group. So,
Because I think also, is it really... that our parents' genetics that's making us have diabetes, or is it that we're living with people who don't control their blood sugar? Do you know what I mean? So because if you're around someone who doesn't control their blood sugar or is eating bad, you will be influenced. So is it environmental?
Environment plays a part.
Genes?
Definitely. I wouldn't say it's one thing. I think genes play a part, and environment plays a part. I mean, the parents will be the ones that are providing food to the children. So, if the portion sizes they're providing and if the kind of snacks and things they're providing are going to lead them to kind of gaining more weight, and they're not kind of living quite an active lifestyle or encouraging that for their children, then environment does play a factor as well.
Because we're at high risk of diabetes and in the Black community, would you say there's anything we're doing right in the Black community in terms of food? Like, help us, give us some encouragement. Like,
I mean, I think we do really well cooking from scratch a lot of the time. I don't think we've lost that completely. I think some people maybe don't do it as often, but I think we're quite into cooking from scratch and using like fresh veg and things and those types of things. And there's always some vegetables incorporated in our meals, whether it's it may not look quite portioned like how the kind of Western diet is, like salad here and meat here and vegetables here. It's kind of like combined in like the sauce and the stews and things. But I think we do well at consuming those things. It's just tweaking the portions.
I would say.
I don't think our food's necessarily unhealthy. It's just tweaking the portions and maybe just some healthier cooking styles if we kind of tend to like fry food or use lots of oil in our cooking. But you can still consume our cultural food, just little tweaks. Yeah.
I think for me, what annoys because I'm more like nutritionally aware. What annoys me about my mum's cooking, I love it. It's fantastic. It's the oil. I'm talking. It's like she's pouring it like it's water.
I don't know why they do this.
Literally, is that in the Caribbean community as well?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm like, I don't think we need all this oil.
We don't.
Draining it out.
It's too much. That does annoy me. But I think now we're waking up. We don't when you have stew. When we have stew, the oil is sitting at the top, like buffering over it. It's like we just don't need that much. But I think now we're becoming aware that it's just a little bit unnecessary. As a dietitian, if you had to pick between, the three macros, so obviously we have fat, we have protein, and we have carbohydrates, which one would you pick to kind of, just in general, which one would you pick out of the three?
You got the fibre as well. I think protein's always going to be spoken about. I don't think protein will never be spoken about. But I think fibre is slowly coming up and being spoken about more. And people are becoming more aware of consuming fibre in the diet, because I was reading somewhere that younger people, particularly women, I think, are at higher risk of the colorectal cancers, some kind of cancers like that. And I think it's due to the food that we're eating, like kind of processed packaged foods that we're consuming. So increasing awareness of fibre. Fibre is really good at managing blood sugars because it makes the food digest slower. Fibre is really good at like pulling the bad fat from the food that we're eating, so it helps lower the cholesterol levels. Keeps us fuller for longer, so we can eat less when we have good amounts of fibre in the diet. So fibre is
good.
It's good. So beans, pulses, get your lentils, like haricot beans that are in like the baked beans and things. Lots of fibre.
And I think for me, what I've started to do, psyllium husk.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I have like Weetabix, I'll just sprinkle a little bit over it because it adds more fibre. For me, as someone who goes to the gym and works out, I would do say I struggle with weight cycling. So going up and down in my weight. So I'm going good for 3 months doing the cut. I'm really doing it. And then my weight goes back up. So I'm always going up and down. Like I stop being consistent.
Yeah.
And I've seen through research that going up and down your weight actually increases the risk of insulin resistance. And that kind of scared me. And I just thought, how does that make sense? How does me going up and down in my weight affects my, insulin?
Yeah. I believe it was, I think I was looking this up and I believe it was due to when we kind of go up and down in our weight, the kind of yo-yo cycle, when we regain that fat, it likes to come back as visceral fat, and particularly around our stomach area. And then that, of course, increases the insulin resistance. So that can be why.
Damn. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I always try and tell people whatever you're trying to do to lose weight and things, just make sure it's consistent and you're not kind of doing this fad diet and cutting out loads of things and then you lose a bunch of weight and then you kind of go back to what you're eating again and then you gain weight again or even more. So whatever you're going to do, make sure it's sustainable.
Because you're very aware of food and stuff, how has being a dietitian kind of affected your relationships?
Yeah.
In any way? It could even with family, has it influenced it in any way?
I do get questions. So I get a lot of questions from family, like random messages like, oh, can I eat this? Can I eat that? My doctor says I've got this, I've got that, what should I eat?
Yeah.
I'm like, I got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Which is nice. That they kind of trust me to give them advice. Do they always listen to it?
No.
Sometimes it sounds better coming from a doctor or someone outside the family, so fair enough. But I think sometimes people think that when you're kind of a dietitian or you work in food or healthcare, you kind of judge what they're eating and give a little side eye. Yeah. Which I don't do. I just kind of just get on with normal life.
Yeah, I'm
not really into unsolicited advice, really. Yeah. Unless they're dialing back the Supermalt again after again, then I'm making a little side eye.
Low-key judging.
I'll low-key judge you if you're doing things like that. But usually I'm not really.
You would judge my brother so bad.
If we're going out to eat and things, they're like, oh, what are you going to order? And kind of going tailoring what I'm ordering. And I'm like, just get what you want.
If we go out to eat, I would copy your meal. Because if you're a dietitian,
Not all the time. I love chips. If I'm going out to eat, there'll probably be some chips on my plate. So.
Yeah. Do you have a go-to meal as a dietitian? Like, what would you say is your favourite meal to go for?
Favourite meal. So I don't eat meat, just the way I was raised. I've never eaten meat before. Probably try it in the future, maybe. We'll see. But do you eat fish? I eat fish.
Fine.
I eat fish. So I like a little sea bass or something. I like to do like a roast veg, potato kind of tray bake thing. With like a little yogurt mint sauce type thing.
Is this all in one plate?
Like
so sea bass.
So, yeah, I do the sea bass, do like the yogurt on the bottom of the plate and then put the veg and things on top. It's quite nice. I quite like it.
Fine. Where's the rice? Is there rice in there?
There's potatoes. Potatoes. I like potatoes.
Fine.
I like potatoes over rice. They just taste better.
Okay.
I don't know. They make me feel fuller. So
do you prefer sweet potato over? Is sweet potato better than white potatoes?
So sweet potato it's lower GI, lower glycemic index, so it's more slow releasing. But I actually don't like it.
Really?
I don't know why it tastes sweet. I don't really like the sweet taste. I just prefer your standard white potato.
Yeah, fine.
But yeah, it's slower releasing than a white potato. I'm not really a fan of it.
But it obviously has a better benefit in terms of lowering.
Yeah, it can make digestive.
Sometimes I look at the fibres. What annoys me is I'm trying to get my fibre up and the fibre in some of the food is like 5 grams. And it's like we need 30 grams of fibre in one day.
Yeah.
How is it even possible?
Yeah.
Do you think we can really eat 30 grams of fibre in a day?
It can be done, but it's easily not done. I feel like when I've been able to do it, it's when I've been conscious of my fibre intake for the day. So if I'm just kind of going on the go and doing what I'm doing, my fibre intake is probably super low. When I've been really conscious about it and I've been like, okay, I'm going to have like some oats and things to eat, or if I'm making, or I'll make like a soup or something and chucking like lentils and beans and lots of veg and things in there, or if I'm choosing like a meal deal, if I'm going for a meal deal at work or something, I'll be looking at the fibre like, okay, should I do the sandwich or should I do like this kind of grain bowl?
Yeah.
I want the sandwich, but I'll probably just do the grain bowl. So when I'm conscious of it, it can be done when we're conscious of it. But if we're not conscious or like aware of what foods contain fiber, then
it'll be harder. 100%. Yeah. We definitely need to have our little shot of the episode.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So this one's the apple cider vinegar and ginger shot.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get like, good good stuff.
Love it.
Is there any like fruits you would recommend for someone who's got diabetes? Like, because over other fruits, I know things like bananas have higher sugar compared to berries.
Yeah, people demonize bananas a lot. Patients always come to me, they're like, they told me I can't eat bananas, and they're just distraught.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can still have it, but just like the small like children's ones.
I see. Yeah.
It's like the bigger the fruit, the more carbs that are in the fruit.
Fine.
So
there's carbs in everything at this point.
There's carbs in your fruit. It's just about balance. If you think about your 5 a day, I always say go for like 3 veg and 2 fruit and balance it that way, as opposed to having 5 pieces of fruit a day.
Fine. But is it not better to eat a pack of grapes than a pack of Haribos?
You'll get extra nutritional things from it. So yeah, you get fiber and your micronutrients and things, definitely.
Yeah.
But if you can just have like a handful of grapes instead of a whole pack, or berries are a lot lower in carbs. So blueberries, strawberries, whatever you like.
Yeah.
You can go for those.
Oh,
and they got some fiber in there as well. Get your fiber in.
Perfect. So should we do a cheers?
Yes.
Yeah. We need to shake it. Hopefully it's even nice.
I've never tried this one before.
No, same. Okay.
It's quite nice.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit spicy.
It's a bit spicy.
You're not forced to finish it.
It's quite nice though.
If you had 3 chances to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What is one thing you are going to do to keep healthy? And I like this question because I want to get a different person's perspective.
Okay.
Yeah? So if you had to pick one thing, what would you do?
Being active. So I grew up doing martial arts. So I grew up doing karate. I became like a 2nd dan black belt and was like competing in things. So it's always been part of my life. Then I stopped around GCSE time. Life got serious. And I had to focus on the exams. My parents were like, no, exams.
Exams.
And I got back into it recently. So doing like kickboxing and a bit of wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So I think if I would start life again, I would definitely incorporate that as part of my healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
It's a great stress relief as well. After a long day, just go on the bags and just punch it out. It's great.
But thank you so much for coming onto the show. We really appreciate you. Tell us, how can we find you? What's your social media platform?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on Nutritiously Alli on all those platforms. And I post a lot of videos and tips and things there. So check me out.
So everything will also be in the link below. So make sure you guys check it out. Give us a follow and also subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you grabbed something from today.